Hello, amazing souls. Welcome back to another episode with me on my channel Cosmic Contracts. And so today's message is these are not words, but these are kind of visions or pictures that were shown to me. And I thought that it had to be shared with the divine feminine collective. So if you feel connected to the womanhood inside of you, I'm not talking about uh, your body, I'm not talking about the gender, I'm talking about the feminine energy that is within. And the visions were like there was this old lady, she's lying down on a bed, she feels like she's sick and she's towards her end days, and next to her there's a door, and on the door there's another lady standing, and she's kind of asking, like, she has this expression that the other lady was supposed to serve her, take care of her, and make sure that she felt lonely, and she thought that the other woman should be taking care of her, but the other woman is kind of hurt herself, and because of the past hurts, she feels that this older lady was the head of the household, and she was supposed to protect me, take care of me, and kind of make sure that I was safe. But both sides have their own issues, and the older one, definitely, she is so sad that she ends up kind of cursing this woman and her bloodline. So there's a lot of disintegration of feminine energy. There's no trust, there is no faith, there is lack of nurturing love. So what is disempowered empowered energy? I have covered this in many episodes, but I'm going to quickly go through them, and so that you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. So when the feminine energy is empowered, right, then it is kind of she stands in her authentic power. She's highly intuitive. She's able to receive the divine energies, the divine source. She's able to tap in because of the intuition. She's playful like a child because the child is healed. And she's creative. She's vulnerable. She's able to express herself, surrender to the unknown, to the divine. And she's able to rest. She's able to be herself. But if it is disempowered, she feels insecure, she feels codependent, she feels needy, she feels more like always apologizing. If you found yourself always apologizing, even when it wasn't your mistake, or always carrying this shame and guilt and a lot of like I am good for nothing feelings, and having very weak boundaries, like anybody can step over you and you won't even say, you won't even make a sound, you will silently let that happen with you. And at the same time she can be very manipulating. You must have seen certain women in the family or in your society. They're always manipulating. Oh, this person said so and so, and then they'll go to the other person and they say, oh, he or she was saying so and so about you, and they kind of manipulate. And this is why are they doing that? Because they want to have some power. They want to have some connection with the other person, so that another person thinks that oh, they are so right, they are so nice people and all that. So these are very few of them. And when you are empowered, so we'll talk more about it, but let's get back to the vision. So the vision was that as I have always said, that being a womb healer myself, womb is a space which is supposed to be filled with love and light, not supposed to be filled with fear or trauma. And what happens is that trauma necessarily it has necessarily does not it has to be very when you're in a situation which had been very aggressive, like war or crime. It could be like even small things, like let's say for a child, she was completely rejected for her idea that she presented in front of her family, and as a child that could be a trauma for you, right? Being rejected. So it's not about the intensity of how aggressive or rude or harsh it was. it could be very light, depending on how the soul is. It becomes a grave wound. Trauma is something like that is coming after the hurt, and it the resonance of that energy is left inside. That means there is an energy wound, and since we have come here on this planet, we have agreed to take the experience and hurt ourselves. That's why we are not able to understand or grasp such kind of harsh, dense environments where there is use and abuse, or there is oppression or suppression. Especially in this time, the women that have incarnated, or even the men with women energies, feminine energies, with high feminine energies, I would say, why are you feeling these triggers when any time, we feel that society kind of thinks that women have been, this has happened for centuries, women have felt that they are being suppressed and oppressed, and making decisions of our lives is dependent on the male member of the family. And it's always thought that a woman cannot make decisions. And it just feels very horrible to me, this idea that a mother who has given birth, who instinctively knew what the child needs and she nurtured her life, she's unable to take decisions of where she's going to get herself educated or whom she's going to get married. Mostly, if you are somebody where you have got this freedom, then you're very great, very, very blessed and grateful. But at the same time, when I meet people and I'm doing this work with them, small things also have got stuck, that here they were not they were not given the freedom to decide on clothes or food that they should be eating. For some, the food was also decided because they were women, because they are girls, and then there are boys in the family. You kind of see this distinction, like, oh, my grandmother, she would not let me eat more than one. I recently had this, and she said that my grandmother won't let me eat more than one egg, saying that I'll put on weight. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, not being judgy, but definitely that's what I said. Small things also can get into one's mind and wound or create a hurt, to big, harsh, very dense and very dark energies and environments. It's all existing right on this planet. Imagine the number of children that are sexually abused or put in orphanages, or pedophilia people who do some. These are very dark sides, and I don't want to get into that. I want to come back quickly to this divine feminine. So this is the time where, from various lifetimes, we were the victims or we were the abusers, and we continued that cycle. Because let's say somebody hurt me, right? I want to, because I'm filled with so much of anger, that I want to take revenge. So my entire energy was like, I'll show this person, I'll take revenge. And we see those movies, right? So I continue that loop. So maybe I took another incarnation to become a man, and that soul took an incarnation for woman and go through the same abuse, maybe less or more, that I had gone in my past life. But what happened is, as long as I was in that energy of revenge taking, anger, hurt, I still continued that loop of suffering. So one is victim, one is abuser, and the cycle kept going on until I evolved and realized that, the soul realized, not the human self, but the soul realizes that at the end of the day, it's not serving good to anybody, to my soul, to the other person's souls, to the collective soul. So, what is helping? What is helping is choosing the path of light and love, realizing that I know it's hard to accept that, sometimes when we are going through really dark experiences, and where we have been really, like our free will has truly been, stamped, and it's just blown to shreds, and we are like, like we we have come to the space where we are questioning the reason for our existence. Why are we existing? What is our value? We have reached that point or beyond. In those circumstances, I understand it's really hard to see the this vision, but your pain is something that will push you to the depths. But if you can just realize that this is all the work of play, of energy, it's all role play, then you can use the same energy. Imagine the level of uh, patience, resilience one soul has, that has gone through such dark phases of her life or his life, and yet they are standing and facing life. I think that's more than enough to show that you're how strong and courageous one soul is. And that means if they use this energy to transmute, they can become very powerful souls, and transmuting it further into the frequency of love and light, you are going to bring down eternal peace, harmony, unconditional love, like a flow of river into your life. And if it's flowing into your life, then it is going to always flow outwards to other people, triggering them to find their own peace, their own value, their own love, their own worth as a soul. Because we don't realize that coming to earth in itself is a, there are trillions of souls in the spiritual world who do not get this body. And look at the number of people here who we are mentally today. One third of the world globally, there is mental health crisis. It's going to increase, and there are people who are in severe depression, and even further down the negative scale, where they want to end their lives. And we have forgotten how precious this life is, how blessed we are that we came here and we are able to experience these five sense world, this five sensed world, where we can touch, we can smell, we can see, we can feel, speak, and listen to the water sounds, listen to the birds, the stones, the air. When you close your eyes and sense all that is in Mother Nature, the chirping of birds, the trees, the roots growing inside with the sound, the leaves fluttering and flowing in the air. So much to sense, so much to see, and we are just caught up in this 3D world and continuously like a hamster in the wheel, rotating in that cycle of suffering. If we could just move out and see that this is just a game and we can choose love, relax ourselves, and find it. So, for centuries, the feminine energy has been wounded so much, and the vision then brought me to the attention that for thousands of years, women are always against each other, they are always jealous of each other. We will quickly put down the other woman in front of us than, encourage her or become strength of one another. And it's like there is some kind of rivalry within the women community always. And men, you look at the men community, the masculine, they're always united. They are like, oh, we are the brothers. Why can't we be the sisters? Why can't we be encouraging? Why can't we stand united? Why cannot we not accept the uniqueness and value of each other? Why is this happening? Reason is that for thousands and thousands of years, let's go before that, like into the ancient times of Lemuria and the civilizations before, when the Star Nation families would be here and made the 12 tribes of light. From that point, women had this power when to gather in groups. Even today in rural places, you will find women gatherings happening. These are naturally created circles which are not current but having, like, from the time of existence it's there. So women would gather, they would bleed together on the moon cycles, and they would express their emotions. And what happened is, when together, when they are expressing, they released a lot of emotion together, because if I was suffering through something and I spoke, the other person then it triggers something, and they also express something, and then that becomes like an entire loop. So what happens is, in that loop, when you see that they are releasing and releasing, and when you release, so they are releasing through their feelings, they are releasing via the blood, which is very very sacred, and they are dropping it on the ground, mother earth, and then they are out with the four elements, because they were lighting with the fire. Natural lighting was fire, there was air, and they were close to the water to clean themselves. So with these four elements together, and five the ethers, and expressing the energy, they were releasing tremendous amount of energy, emotions. And when you do that, their womb space became clear. And when the womb space becomes clear, they were automatically inviting a lot of intuition, love, and light into their womb space by the divine source. They are making a clear path to connect with the divine source, and they're creating this bridge between the divine source energy and bringing it into their own vessel. And that's how they got this new information, new insight intuitively, which was not logical. It did not have facts or evidence, but it was something based on metaphysical. And it's like a new consciousness entered their womb space. So what happened is, now when they came back to the tribe and they said this is what we could do, and things started to work, some appreciated that, but some were like, this is illogical. We have seen mothers sometimes, oh no no, don't do this will affect him, and people are like, why is she saying that? But it turns out to be true. Mothers always, they are always like that, and we are like, how did she know this? Because she's a mother, she's intuitive, she knows it. And in the same way, like Mother Nature, we are the essence of the divine primordial mother, and we have her essence. So we work outside the boundaries of those logic and known spaces. We are the ones who venture out into the unknown. We are the ones who, the feminine energy, as in, is the one who goes and has a travel adventure out in the unknown, and is able to bring forth something valuable from the unknown depths, the wisdom, the knowledge of how this universe is. And that's why the nature. So what happened is, for a long long period, women were the ones who were the leaders in the tribe, because they held this intuitive connection to the source. And sorry, I just needed one sip. And what happens is that then obviously we see the system that it's very masculine, and they don't like women being in charge. Oh, it's raining beautifully, so let me just open the curtains. And what happens is that they are in the space, and especially the organized institutions, which tried to show us that the only way to reach God is through an institution, and we should be the ones delivering the services. When you go out in nature and you're connecting with spirits, and you're trying to get the information that's demonic, that's possessed women, and these are witches and healer, not healers, but they're witches. So we were termed as that, and in order to break our power, to separate us, they would do things which are today we cannot even imagine. But they would take the loved ones and threaten, and or we were strongly supporting each others in the sisterhood, but obviously we were broken down with force, with abuse, with torture, with burning, with rape, with so many things. There was a mass genocide, and we had to break in order to save our own selves, or our own families, or our loved ones, because they had taken it to the point that they could not stand our freedom, our uniqueness, our power, and the way we were able to heal and spread love and nurture everybody in the community. It did not go down well with them, and this had to be broken. And through, and then I was taken to this timeline where the seeds are dropped, like, these are like the seeds of darkness. And in the darkness there is a lot of violence, a lot of trauma, and there is a lot of fear. And till date, moving through those thousand timelines, it could be on this earth or even on other galaxies where there is third density and maybe there are more harsh. Let's talk about like Orion belt, where they are total dictatorship. You don't have freedom. Even like, even in the, there is a lot of dictatorship, and they do not have, the souls on that planetary system do not have a lot of freedom. So we are really grateful that we have half and half of both the sides, and we can choose. So we are on the crossroads, on the borderline, and we can see how much dark it is and get sucked by it, or we can also see that, still there is nature, there is there are souls who are nurturing, who are peaceful, who have love, who hold these energies and can nurture us, and we can become one like them. We can become like, a group of it. So these questions started coming, like, that's why, because of so much that we have gone through for so many centuries. Pick up the history books and you'll see how much, like, people went crazy about the witch hunt, and how even women who were not into practicing, nature, worshipping nature and working with the nature, even they had to go through that, because, it's like a mad rampage and everybody has to get struck. And that's how a lot of division, suppression, taking away the freedom, uh, turning one person turning against each other, and this all disempowered the divine feminine energy. And that's what you see today, that, very easily it's something inside us that quickly we make decisions that the other girl or the other woman is not, we should stay away, or there's some kind of jealousy that comes up quickly. You're fighting a woman, or there are uh, countless examples, but we are not supporting each other. But to support each other, to encourage each other, to love each other, to unite with each other, very few. Right now, very few. But this is increasing now. Today, I see more and more women supporting each other, supporting sisterhood. Just by, you don't have to get into that sisterhood club, but, just when you support another sister, you are automatically in that circle of this divine creation. And with that, I would come now to this point of why on earth would we come at this point? What is the point, light workers, starseeds? What is the point of coming here at this time? The point is that all that I talked about, this is the time that is promised for us to heal these wounds, these traumas that are stored in our womb space, and they block the other energy portals. This is an entire work, but a glimpse of it, that the pictures are stored in your womb space. And you see today the women, they're experiencing a lot of health issues related to their womb space, their uterus, their vagina. And it's, yeah, why are these symptoms coming up? Because there is a lot of fear and trauma collected. And we are here to finally heal that, to release that trauma, to release that fear, to unite, to empower our, stop getting insecure, constantly depend on other people. Especially, you have seen women who are always, like, why are women having this problem that, the other beautiful one should be kind of kept away from the society, so that, she might be able to attract my husband? Insecurity. Why should a woman with, why are women always called gold diggers? That, they're always running behind people with more money and power. Insecurity, codependency, issues that who will take care of me? Because for a very long period we were not taught that we can be independent, we can make our own decisions, we can also be fully capable to provide for ourselves, to take care of ourselves. Self love, self nourishment, all these things are not taught to us at all. We are asked to be givers, but we if we say we want to be the receivers, it's a big no. it's like, how could you even say that? Because you're a woman, you're supposed to provide for. Yes, I am supposed to provide for. Yes, I'm supposed to nurture. Yes, I'm supposed to be kind and loving. But in order to do that, I have to make sure that my cup is also filled with that. If it's getting empty, it's getting depleted, then I mean, you get the point, right? So healing this will kind of bring back, integrate this energy. It's like repairing your energy so that you can be the transmuters, become the tars, ultimately the light, powerful light holders, and share it with others. This is why you have come. So, no matter what your body, but your divine feminine energy, if it's broken, you are always feeling the resonance within. You are always going to feel that insecurity, that codependency, that needy energy, the energy to manipulate so things go in your favor always. You always feel this unworthiness. You feel shame and guilt just for expressing your desires, for having your own desires, or having your sexual needs, or opening up to your needs. That's it. And when you start to integrate them back, what you're going to find is that on the light side, again, in the empowered, there is a light and dark phase. Don't think it's negative dark entity, but the darker feminine traits of empowered is you are going to be more passionate, you're going to be more authentic, you're going to be fearless, you're going to be powerful, magician and alchemist, you're going to be transformational, fierce, you're going to be more sensual, more seductive. And on the light side, if you are empowering, then you're going to be more intuitive, more compassionate, more um, empathetic. You will be feeling more, you will be able to feel the plants, the nature, you'll be more emotional, you're going to be more pure, more graceful, and nurturing in the end. So, all those who are here to heal themselves in this lifetime, uh, I hope your journey is going beautifully. If I can help, you can always connect back. Bye bye.